Today you'll watch a conversation that I had with somebody who's pro-life, except in the most extreme circumstances. There's two things I want to call out that you're going to see in this discussion with this guest today. One of them is that he's essentially using a copy and paste argument from Aristotle. He's using Aristotelian metaphysics to go ahead and justify his pro-life viewpoint. If you don't believe me, just Google three-premise Aristotle argument and you'll see the stuff that this guy's talking about today. The other thing that I want to point out is that it seems pretty obvious to me that he's really prepared to say why that three-premise argument makes sense, but he's unwilling or unable to engage with any holes that are poked in that argument. He's almost like reciting a script. I think generally the better way to go about doing things is not knowing things, but instead it's knowing how to think. It seemed like he knew some things, like this three-step metaphysical argument from Aristotle, but didn't know how to think because he couldn't respond to what I poked holes in his argument about. But hey guys, really quick, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about life, friends, family, career, relationships, really whatever's on my mind. Think of these conversations as having them with somebody who's been through it, laughed through it, and learned from them. So grab your caffeine and let's talk to this guest together. And if you guys are not already following or subbed on YouTube, please drop a sub. That's the easiest way for me to keep doing what I'm doing, and you can catch me elsewhere online.
Feminism is good for men and women. I would have to argue no, because I think it actually impacts both bad because feminism promotes abortion. Abortion takes the life of both men and women. So, do you want me to give you my formal arguments why I think that abortion is like unjust and it is murder?
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely hear that. So your mission statement so far is that feminism is bad because it promotes abortion and abortion's bad, right? And you're going to explain why abortion is bad?
Okay, premise one. If a being, by its material, formal, efficient, and final causes, is like naturally ordered towards rational life, then it has a fundamental interest in the continued existence. Premise two, a being under these four causes is like naturally ordered towards rational life. Premise three, therefore, it's prima facie morally wrong to frustrate a being's fundamental interest.
Yeah, not gonna lie, it was kind of hard to understand you, like a little bit muffled. But I think I kind of got it, except I don't know exactly what was the term you used, pre-fascia or something like that. What does that mean?
It is wrong on face value because I give the life of the mom exception.
Sorry, you said it's wrong on face value, and then what about the life of the mom exceptions?
My only exception is that life of the mom. Therefore, abortion is wrong on face value, but I still give a exception.
Oh, so you'd be okay with abortion in the cases where it's the only way to save the mom's life? That's what you're saying?
Yes. Now, can you criticize my actual argument? So,
Sorry, did you request that I criticize your actual argument?
yes.
Well, yeah, but I just want to make sure I heard you right. You said you are okay with abortion if it saves the mom's life, but in no other
Yes.
circumstances are you okay with it?
Yes.
Yeah. So what about feminism, first of all, do you think promotes more abortion than what you're okay with?
It promotes lots of women equality. I do not think that women equality is bad. I just think that it also puts abortion in women equality, and I think that it's murder because of my argument.
Yeah, so can I to see if you agree with one other exception? So if somebody was raped and they didn't plan on getting pregnant and they don't need an abortion to save their life, are you still against that abortion?
Yes,
Interesting.
because of my argument that I just gave out to you, which is
Yeah,
which
but can you, and it was a little bit muffled, can you say premise one more time from your argument? Because I honestly didn't hear every word. I just want to see if I can get it better.
if a being by its material, formal, efficient, and final causes is naturally ordered towards rational life, then is a fundamental interest in the continued existence.
Yeah. You didn't say it in any of your premises. Are you at all also putting into your argument that there's a soul involved, or do you have a religious background or no?
This is just a philosophical argument. I do not think that there is a soul, no, but I am currently researching arguments on how there could be a soul, but for this argument, no.
Yeah.
There's not a soul.
So one of the reasons, I've talked about it before on here, abortion, because it comes up when we talk about feminism or some of this stuff, is that I have a hard time just being yeah, everyone can get an abortion literally whenever they want. That seems weird to me. like as a form of birth prevention or control. However, where I landed with somebody last time is that for a couple reasons, I generally think that it should basically always be allowed. And I still haven't seen any evidence that when the baby is viable, that they like abort and actually unalive the baby. If there's evidence of that, I'd love to see it. But so if we talk about abortion at like I don't know, a couple weeks or a month or something, right? Like when it's a bunch of cells or like when it's a thing that scientifically doesn't have conscious, I don't yet believe in a soul. And the same way that I don't want to force people to like get pregnant and have kids when they don't want to be parents or they don't have means and thus they don't want to be parents because it's going to not only probably detriment their life and their quality of life and contributions to society, but they're going to do a poor job with that child at the point that that thing is like a clump of cells, if the person decides, I don't want to be a parent, and because of that, they're going to be a bad parent, it's like their life is going to suffer, and so is the thing that's going to be brought into the world. And because I don't believe in like a soul or whatever, and the foster system is not perfect, at that point, I'm totally fine with it. So with everything I said, like, why are you against that sort of abortion?
Um, I told you in my argument, what, like, I don't see how any of this is like addressing my like argument at all.
You said it's got the potential to be an ordered form or something, like that was your premise one?
No. Okay. I will like explain which like each cause. Material cause means that like it is a human, means that it has human biological material, it's matter. Or you like could say it's flesh. The formal is like, just like going to be it's like humanoid shape. The efficient is like, just like going is like just like going to be the fact that it has come from its two parents, and then it has a teleological predicate, a natural order to its final cause, rational life, and like rational flourishing.
Well, yeah, and those might all be true, but that doesn't mean that the answer is that it's wrong to get rid of it, right?
Yes.
Like I think of that clump of cells more closely to like a brain dead individual who's been on life support for 10 years. That thing at that point is more like that brain dead individual than it is like a baby or an adult. Certainly it has the potential if you leave it unalone, or sorry, if you leave it alone to turn into something that is much more different. But at that point in time, it's much like the value or the like the potential mental capability of a sorry, it has in that moment the sort of mental capability that a brain dead like vegetable person has,
Um,
right?
it's not. It's not about potential. It's about the theological predicate to its like final cause, rational life, and like rational flourishing. I don't see how any of this goes like against my argument at all.
Well, yeah, I understand a lot of the things that you said are true, like it's material and like it's efficient, it came from two parents. Those all might be true, but none of those tell me why it's more or less wrong to allow abortion. But you said a bunch of true stuff, but I don't get the why.
Huh? Wait, I told you why, because it like frustrates the being's fundamental interest. They
Well,
have
sure, but
a
we frustrate beings' fundamental interest all the time in legal ways,
uh,
both humans and otherwise.
no, wait. We frustrate a animal's fundamental interest be because they are the lowest, because they do not have rational life and like rational flourishing, and plus they do not have rational nature. Like,
Yeah, but I'm still saying that we do that kind of stuff all the time. We do stuff physically to babies, we do stuff physically to criminals, like and you would say a
um,
criminal doesn't want to be in jail and we still throw them in jail. Like we do stuff against people's nature all the time or their
uh,
individual beings' fundamental interest all the time.
no, wait. The fundamental interest is going to be rational life.
Well, yeah,
If
but
we just
you're
let,
ignoring the positives that I called out to allow the abortion, right? Like you might be right that I'm getting rid of the positive for that being's fundamental interest, but also like two things. One, we're ignoring the fundamental interests of the mom or the dad or the people that are going to be involved with that if that detriments their situation, but also the fundamental interest of that being, like it might be going from zero to something, but if the something is a terrible life situation, do you want to bring the being into that terrible life situation?
um, okay, okay. Having a baby is not going to end the mom's life and like take away her fundamental interest. I think you like do not understand what the like fundamental interest is rational life. Having a hard life is not, that's not like taking away your fundamental interest. Like you 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 are just strawmanning what a fundamental interest is.
Explain it to me. Like I'm not trying to straw man it, so help me better understand what you mean by it.
The fundamental interest in like Aristotelian metaphysics is the like it is the will to do good and the will to continue to and the will to continue to exist. They have a like natural will to like continue to exist.
Yeah.
So having a hard life is not like going to take away your like natural will to like continue to exist. Like what?
I mean, it does sometimes. Some people end it, right?
I mean, yeah. At that point, you like were just going off like potential
Well,
and a gamble.
I mean, we're going
So-
off potential here too, right? Like, I know this sounds a little silly, but we're
It's not
assuming.
about potential. It's about a natural order. Like
What is about potential, right? Like we're predicting outcomes, and the outcome that you're favoring is continuing the life of the thing that left alone would probably continue to be alive. But I mean, even there, you're predicting that it will be alive. Like who knows? Maybe it unalives during birth. I mean, we're doing lots of predictions here. It's about a lot of potential.
no, there's a clear difference between potential and like a teleological predicate to your like final cause. So this is.
Yeah, but so I mean, we haven't gotten anywhere, right? Like the base assumption here is that you're saying it's more good to allow the thing to survive that left alone would survive than it is to weigh the potential negatives of the context of the situation, which is why I'd say I leave it up to the mother. Like she knows her body and her wants and what she thinks she's going to do in the future and what her life's going to be like or what she's trying to do way more than I do. So if all of that is going to lead in her mind to a situation that she doesn't want to be in, and thus the thing that left alone would survive would probably have a bad situation in, then like I don't want to force somebody who doesn't want to be a parent to be a parent. Right? That'd be like right now if somebody was not pregnant, it's almost the same to me as saying to them, hey, I'm going to force you to go get pregnant right now and have a child. Right? The only difference is that the two cells, right, or the two things, sperm and egg, have met, and it's been a couple weeks. But they're not like you can't take it out. It's not breathing. It's not thinking. It's not crying for mom and dad. It's a couple cells.
Okay, like wait again. You were just stating your pro-choice argument. You have like not said anything of value to like actually do anything good against my argument at all.
Yeah, so I don't believe that that's true. But again, you have every opportunity after I'm done yapping here in 2 seconds to try and do it better. But I believe. Sorry, I'm not done talking. I believe that you have crafted your argument, but the same way that you are saying that I'm just stating my pro-choice argument, you are just stating your pro-life argument. I have responded to it. You just keep saying it and then telling me I haven't responded to it.
I came up here to give you my argument and have you criticize it.
And I have.
You haven't said anything of. You haven't said anything of value to it at all. All you have just did is just misrepresented the fundamental interest and like just not know any and like just not know anything about it. It's like.
Here, I'm gonna do this really quick while we're talking. Chat, drop a smiley face in the chat if you think I have responded to his arguments. Drop a sad face if you think I haven't responded to his arguments, and we'll see what chat says. But yeah, we can keep going if you want. Are you looking at the results? Because they definitely think that I've responded to your arguments.
Yeah. I don't care about their like thoughts because they like do not know anything about
I'm gonna let you go. You have done like you went and figured out as much as you could that 2 + 2 = 4, and you're unwilling to have a conversation about addition. Right? Like you have went and you memorized the note cards and you were like, oh, this makes tons of sense. And now the second somebody like pokes a little hole and says, well, what about that? Like, can we talk about that? You just say, oh no. Did you hear what I said? Like you didn't respond to that. No, man, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You can't go and memorize the timetables, but call yourself a mathematician, right? Like you gotta be able to engage. and telling me that I'm not engaging is not me not engaging, right? And I'm not saying that it's always like an ad populum fallacy, but if there's 200 people here, 10% of them decide to vote, and 99% of them say, I have done just a fine job keeping up with the conversation and responding, and you're the only one. I think you and one other person voted. If you're the only 1% of people that says, John, you're completely ignoring my argument, either 99% of us are stupid or like you just need to calm down a little bit and take a breath. Think about it.